Imagine you're driving home after a long, exhausting shift. It is late. The road is almost empty. Your eyes are heavy. Suddenly, blue and red lights explode in your rearview mirror. Your heart instantly slams against your ribs. Because every driver knows this feeling. That moment when your brain starts racing. What did I do wrong? Is something wrong with my car? Is tonight about to become a nightmare? You pull over. Gravel crunches under your tires. You turn off the engine, lower the window, hands on the steering wheel. A police officer approaches. His flashlight slices through the darkness. License and registration. You hand them over. Then something changes. His flashlight pauses. It lands on your phone sitting in the cup holder. Your screen lights up. A notification, maybe a text, maybe a map update. The officer's tone shifts. "Sir, unlock your phone for me. I just need to check something real quick." Then comes the pressure. If you have nothing to hide, this won't be a problem. Unlocking it now could save you a trip to the station. And suddenly, your body is flooded with adrenaline. Your mind goes blank. Because right now, one decision will determine everything that happens next. Do you unlock it? If you say no, are you obstructing justice? If you say yes, what exactly are you giving them access to? Because one tap, one fingerprint, one glance at Face ID can permanently destroy your case. And this is not hypothetical. This exact situation plays out thousands of times every single day across the United States. My name is Sarah, and for more than 15 years, I've studied police procedure, criminal law, and Supreme Court rulings. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to protect yourself. I'm going to show you exactly what the law says about your phone, your privacy, and police searches. Because your phone doesn't just hold data, it holds your digital soul. And if you don't know your rights, someone else will decide them for you. Now, let me tell you about Liam, because Liam faced this exact situation during a late-night traffic stop in California, and one wrong move could have changed everything. And it perfectly shows how fast an ordinary traffic stop can spiral out of control. Liam is a tired construction worker driving home after a double shift. He is exhausted, hungry, focused only on getting home. Police lights flash. Routine stop. Nothing unusual. The officer notices Liam's phone, asks him to unlock it. Liam hesitates. His instinct tells him, "I didn't do anything wrong. What harm could it do?" And that single thought is the most dangerous mistake people make. To understand why, we need to talk about the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. Historically, this meant police couldn't search your house, your papers, or your belongings without a warrant. But for decades, police were allowed to search items found on a person during an arrest. This is called search incident to arrest. If they found a cigarette pack in your pocket, they could open it. If they found a wallet, they could search it. So law enforcement tried to treat phones the same way. They argued, a phone is just another object. But in 2014, everything changed. In a landmark case called Riley versus California, the United States Supreme Court shut that argument down. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote that comparing a modern smartphone to a wallet is like comparing a horse ride to a trip to the moon. Because your phone doesn't hold a few scraps of paper, it holds your entire location history, your banking information, your private conversations, your photos, your medical records, your search history. In other words, your entire life. And the court ruled, police generally need a warrant to search your phone, even if you are under arrest. Let me say that again, because this protects your freedom. Even if you are handcuffed, even if you're sitting in the back of a police car, they still need a warrant. This is your constitutional shield. Now back to Liam. The officer does not have a warrant, so what is he doing? He's fishing for consent. If Liam unlocks the phone, he waives his rights, and anything the officer finds becomes legal evidence. And here's the trap. You don't know what they're looking for. A joke text? An old photo? A message taken out of context? Once you unlock that phone, you can't take it back. So what should Liam say? A safe response: "Officer, I do not consent to any searches of my device. I am not obstructing, but I am asserting my right to privacy." Firm, polite, clear. Now, things get even serious when the officer says, "Give me the password." This activates the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment protects you from self-incrimination. It says the government cannot force you to use the contents of your mind to help prosecute yourself. This is why how you lock your phone matters. There are two types of locks: passcodes, biometrics. A passcode is something you know. Forcing you to reveal it forces you to use your mind, which most courts say violates the Fifth Amendment. That makes passcodes powerful legal armor. Biometrics, however, are physical characteristics: your fingerprint, your face. And courts historically allow police to compel physical evidence. This is called the biometric loophole. Some courts allow police to force your finger onto a scanner. Other courts strongly disagree. Right now, federal courts are split. That means your legal protection depends on your location. So what does this mean in real life? It means your passcode protects you better than your face. If a police encounter is escalating, legal experts recommend temporarily disabling Face ID or fingerprint lock. On most smartphones, holding the power and volume button for a few seconds disables biometrics. This converts your phone back to passcode-only protection. One small move, massive legal difference. Now back to Liam. The officer says, "If you don't unlock this, I'll seize your phone and get a warrant." This is a pressure tactic. And sometimes, yes, they legally can seize your phone if they have probable cause. But probable cause is not the same as reasonable suspicion. Speeding, broken taillight, that does not justify searching your phone. Unless the officer sees evidence of a crime in plain view, they usually don't have probable cause. And even if they seize it, seizing is not searching. They still need a judge to approve unlocking it. So if they threaten to seize it, don't panic, because if they truly have probable cause, they'll get a warrant anyway. If they don't, they're bluffing for consent. Never solve their problem for them. Now let's discuss plain view. If your phone screen is already open and clearly shows criminal activity, that can be used. That's why handing over an unlocked phone is extremely dangerous. One notification, one message, one pop-up. That's all it takes. Next, the exceptions, because in law, there are always exceptions. Exception number 1, exigent circumstances, emergency situations. If police believe waiting for a warrant risks destruction of evidence or danger to life, they can search. But modern technology weakens this argument. Police now use Faraday bags to block signals. Once the phone is isolated, there's no emergency. Exception number 2, border searches. At airports and borders, your rights are weaker. Customs officers claim authority to search phones without warrants. Refusing can lead to device seizure, long detentions, and even denied entry. This is one of the most dangerous legal zones. Exception number 3, probation and parole. If you are on probation or parole, you may have signed away your Fourth Amendment protections. If that applies to you, your rights may be severely limited. Now, let's finish Liam's story. Liam refuses to unlock the phone. The officer gets frustrated, orders him out of the car, finds an old unpaid parking ticket, uses it as pretext, arrests Liam, takes the phone. "I'm going to search this." Liam calmly says, "I do not consent. I want my lawyer." Because Liam stayed silent, because he didn't unlock it, the officer now has to convince a judge, and that gives Liam's attorney a fighting chance.
If Liam had unlocked it, his case would likely already be over. Here is what you must remember. 1. Police generally need a warrant to search your phone. 2. Requests are not orders. You can say no. 3. Passcodes protect better than biometrics. 4. Disable biometrics if safely possible. 5. Never physically resist. 6. Silence is your strongest weapon. Because in the digital age, your phone is your memory, your identity, your life. And if you don't protect it, someone else will control it. Rights are like muscles. If you don't use them, you lose them. If this video protected you even once, hit subscribe right now.
Because the next traffic stop, the next knock on your window, could change your life forever. And on this channel, I make sure you never walk into that moment blind. Stay safe, stay educated, and always know the law.